Audio Jungle.
Horrific tragedy. Blood-curdled screen shatters the early morning calm here on Sunday when 5 passengers, mostly public transport operators from St. Catherine, heading to Hanover for a colleague's all-white birthday party, died after the Toyota Hiace in which they were traveling flipped several times before crashing into a pole. The casualties include 4 males and a female. The police have identified them as 22-year-old Akeem Roberts, 42-year-old Dwayne Campbell, Simone Minot, Quandarrick Owens, and Horace Tolo. The police also reveal that the crash victims hailed from Portmore and Spanish Town addresses in St. Catherine. 7 passengers were admitted for treatment at Falmouth Public General Hospital, 2 of which were released by mid-morning Sunday, but the conditions of the others were not known up to press time. According to the police, about 2:30 a.m. Sunday, the vehicle veered across the road and flipped for about 50 meters down in palm trees until it crashed into a concrete utility pole, the impact sending some of the occupants flying from the vehicle. When reporters visited the scene on Sunday morning, they searched parts of the vehicle: a bumper, a door, a tire, mirrors, splintered glass, as well as fluid blood, uprooted palm trees, sneakers, pee-caps, cell phone cases, and other debris drenched on the ground, told the tale of the horrific crash. Blank-faced residents from the area near a pond in the community just outside of Falmouth, who milled around, venting frustration over the increased number of crashes in the vicinity. Almost every month we have accident on this road. We just tired of it. There is a pond over there, and you hear a vehicle run over there. We tired of it. We are scared. Sometimes I don't want to cross the road. Me have to go work and I'm scared because of the speed the drivers coming with. Sometimes they see you crossing and they don't slow down, bemoaned Charlene Huntston, a nurse. The scene that followed at Falmouth Public General Hospital was even more sorrowful. After being treated and released from hospital, a female crash survivor, whose white dress was blood-stained, broke down in tears upon learning the lives have been lost in the tragedy. Another survivor, a man whose knees were heavily bandaged, was explaining that the crash occurred when the driver of the ill-fated vehicle lost control while attempting to avoid crashing into an oncoming car that reportedly overtook another motor vehicle. However, he quickly dragged away by a grief-stricken man, also dressed in white, who was among a group that had earlier arrived at the hospital for the party. Some members of that group strongly opposed reporters capturing photographs of them while they were at the healthcare facility. They were urged by hospital workers clad in blue polo shirt who was overheard telling the inconsolable group that on previous occasions the same reporter pointed a camera in the face of a woman who was at the facility after her son had been taken there with fatal stab wounds. On the heels of deadly crash, the Jamaica Constabulary Force (JCF) issued a warning to motorists. Motorists should not expect any changes or any discretion from the police using the highways. The directive to them is to be very firm and to be zero tolerant of speeding. Once you are stopped for speeding, overtaking improperly, or failing to keep to the left, you should expect to be prosecuted. Head of the JCF Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch, Assistant Commissioner of Police Dr. Gary McKenzie, told reporters in a telephone interview on Sunday. During an impromptu press conference at Falmouth Police Station hours after the crash, Commander of the Trelawney Police Division, Deputy Superintendent of Police Ainsley McCarthy, revealed that the 5 deaths have pushed the totality of road fatalities in the parish since the start of the year to 15, 6 more than the 9 recorded over the same period last year. He bemoaned that, despite their best efforts, law enforcers continue to grapple with fatal crashes on the section of North Coast Highway that passes through the parish. Once again, we appeal to road users to drive within the speed limit. Be mindful of other road users. The life you save may be that of your very own. Speeding kills, ladies and gentlemen. While you're out there on our roadway, please be careful, DSP McCarthy urged. Remember, the person next to you on the road is your neighbor. Be a good neighbor to your fellow drivers on the road. Meanwhile, ACP McKenzie also appealed to motorists to observe the road traffic laws, revealing that the police were monitoring motorists on the North Coast Highway at the time of the crash. The police were on this stretch of road at the time of the crash. The police mounted several checks. The record shows that the police had a national coordinated roadblock in the vicinity, and the highway patrol was just down the road on the elegant corridor, he noted. The senior lawman added, "The cause of the crash is that the driver was driving in a dangerous manner, traveling on the highway, failed to negotiate a corner at high speed, and as a result, the vehicle went to the right of the roadway and collided with the palm trees, overturned and crashed with a light pole, causing the death and injury of the people." In the meantime, Vice Chairman of the National Road Safety Council, Dr. Sean Jones, said the crash brings into sharp focus the need for the entire country to be mobilized to deal with this serious national problem. He is advocating for public education, training, and sanctions to force motorists to slow down on the nation's roads. Transport Operators Development Sustainable Services President Hector Newman expressed condolence to the relatives and friends of the deceased. "The section is in dark this Sunday morning. We have lost at least 4 members of our family in the bus crash on the South March Main Road. It is unfortunate. I was just looking at statistics last night that shows that since the start of the year, one PPV person, public passenger vehicle operator, lost his life, and one PPV passenger before this crash now," he bewailed. The 5 deaths on Sunday bring to 194 the number of road fatalities recorded across the island since the start of the year, 4% less than the 203 at the same time last year. St. Anne police probing double murder among murders at the weekend. 2 men were shot dead and another wounded in Grove Village, Parrytown, St. Anne last night. The deceased have been identified as 56-year-old painter Paul Brooks, otherwise called Marathon, and 30-year-old waterhouse assistant Lamar Lynch, also called Bujo, both residents of Grove Village, Parrytown. According to reports from the Outares police, the incident occurred around 10:20 p.m. when the 3 men were standing at a shop in the community. Residents reported hearing several loud explosions and, upon making checks, found the men on the ground suffering from gunshot wounds. All 3 victims were rushed to hospital, where Brooks and Lynch were pronounced dead. The third man, whose identity has not been released, remains hospitalized. The incident came just hours after another murder in the parish. 53-year-old Gerald Small, a popular jerk pork vendor, was shot and killed along Main Street in Outares the previous night, Friday, July 4th. According to police, Small was conducting business when he was approached by armed men and shot multiple times. He was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. The recent incidents have pushed the murder in St. Anne to nearly 30 since the start of the year. Man injured in alleged police shootout in Old Harbor. A man was injured in an alleged shootout with the police in New Harbor, Village Phase 3, Old Harbor, St. Catherine. He has been admitted to hospital under police guard. The Independent Commission of Investigations INDECOM has been informed about the incident. Reports are that around 4:50 a.m., the police conducted a targeted operation in the area and went to a premises. The police were allegedly challenged by the man, who was reportedly armed with a handgun. The police took evasive action and fired in the man's direction. When the shooting subsided, he was found suffering from gunshot wounds. The police say a gun was seized. He was assisted to the Spanish Town Hospital for treatment. To subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.